Okay. Ma'am Risa, tell something about yourself.
I'm a single mom. I have 4 kids, teenagers, 3 of them, and then one still in grade school. I'm in my second term as a Bayan's Party List representative in the House and running for the Senate as a guest candidate of the Liberal Party. An alumna of the Ateneo and Saints Co Manila. Previously worked as a broadcast journalist, a peace movement activist, a member of the government panel for peace talks with the NDF, community organizer. Ayun. Now this is my current incarnation.
You're almost 10 years working as a journalist. Why decide going to politics?
Actually, I was 15 years in broadcast journalism from the time I was in junior college up to year 2001. There was actually a break of 3 years between that and my first term in the House. But I left broadcast media in 2001 because I was then co-hosting a show called XYZ Young Women's TV. And I was really enjoying myself. But that was the year I turned 35. Sabi ko, okay, this is the most generous upper limit I know for youth. The UN's definition. And I thought, okay, it's time to move on. Ganun lang. I said, it's time to move on. Otherwise, I might be enjoying this show so much still when I'm in my 40s, 50s. Young Women's TV yun eh. So I said, okay, it's time to move on and then open myself up to other things. And 3 years later, Akbayan nominated me for the party list.
What was their category or criteria of choosing you to be one of their representatives?
Well, I'm a founding member of Akbayan. I've been around, and I'll be forever a member. I've been around since 94, 95 when we started organizing it. And of course, when we formally launched and what do you call this? Filed for accreditation to COMELEC, first party list election 1998. I've been active from day one, and I suppose they were looking for a group of nominees which would represent a broad range of sectors in our society, since we are Akbayan Citizens Action Party. And maybe they felt I had the potential to do, in particular, legislative work. And so far, I've really been enjoying it very much, learning a lot, even if it's so exasperating sometimes.
Let's focus first on the Akbayan. You were 2 years in two terms. From your part during the 4th Congress as part of the appropriations, ethics, foreign, human rights, trade, women, and in peace. Which among the committee you really enjoyed the best or participated actively?
Well, I've been a member of the 13th and 14th Congresses, and I would have to say among those I enjoyed the most were the committees on agrarian reform and health. Of course, Ways and Means then. And I say of course because it's from these 3 committees that 3 of the bills I was able to help push into law emanated. So the Cheaper Medicines Act, the CARPER, the new Agrarian Reform Law, Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program Extension with Reforms Law, at saka yung Income Tax Reduction Law. So I participated very much in these committees because dito dineliberate yung bills. Tapos it was these committees that sponsored the plenary debates for what eventually became laws.
You mentioned cheaper medicine bill
Yes.
earlier. Until now, we have problems of proper implementations.
Exactly.
Do you have any plans when you assume office in Senate to fully put restrictions on the hospital, saying that we're going to be on holiday if you're really going to impose this bill on us?
Definitely, and that was the intention of Senator Marrojas and me from day one because we were counterparts for this law. We're both in the Congressional Oversight Committee on Quality Affordable Medicines. He's one of our co-chairs, and from day one, we've really been trying to exercise Congress's powers of oversight, like in enforcing the maximum retail price provision of the law. Inamin namin ng Pfizer, at saka trying to ihap kung bakit hinahanggan nila yung imposition by DOH of MRPs. When the hospitals threatened to go on hospital holiday, I also spoke up against this, saying that opposition to a law or disobedience of a law should not cause them to close down an essential service to our people. And certainly for the other provisions of the law, which were actually the heart of my original bill, the same for Senator Mar's bill. And I'm speaking here of the provisions on compulsory licensing, on parallel importation, on strengthening the generics law. Ito talaga, pupursige ko maipatupad, even if and when I get to work in the Senate. And of course, yung ibang bills na gusto kong i-file, katulad niyan, health reform measures, like expanding PhilHealth coverage to universal or 100%, providing for free hospitalization for the poorer members of PhilHealth, health and women-related, both providing for free testing, diagnosis, and treatment of the women cancers that are spreading today, of the uterus, of the breast, of the cervix, at syempre yung walang kamatayang reproductive health bill.
You mentioned reproductive health. The bill, actually. It was, allegedly, it was called died this year. Do you have any plans of bringing it back once you sit as one of the senators for this after the election?
Definitely. Well, it was Senator Kit Tata who said patay na daw yung RH bill. Of course, strictly speaking, we still have 4 more days of session for this 14th Congress, but those are primarily for canvassing and proclaiming the winners of the presidential and vice presidential elections. Well, barring a miracle, then the reproductive health bill will not be passed in this Congress, but definitely, if I get to work in the Senate, I will refile it.
You're one of the co-authors was Lisa Masa, from the other party, for the other political party. What is the difference between, how do you compare Risa Hontiveros from Lisa Masa?
Oh, well, we're from 2 different parties, 2 different movements. We've had the chance to speak together in the House, in the same condo out of the past 3 Congresses. And although we both come from the left, unfortunately we've had many fundamental, I would say fundamental differences on bills. Bills springing out of our principles and platforms. On agrarian reform, she and her colleagues did not support our Carter bill. In fact, in the end, they voted against it together with the Negros Occidental congressmen. They have their own bill, which is still in committee, but as I told one of her colleagues, I couldn't understand why they couldn't support our bill first instead of supporting the Negros Occidental congressmen who were opposing it. On human rights, I believe human rights are universal. They are inherent to every human being, whatever political color, or even if of no political color. I also believe human rights accountability is to every group bearing arms, primarily the state forces because they are the superior force, but also I believe it holds true for the non-state actors, including the New People's Army, the MILF, and others. On several bills, I tried to include this accountability of non-state actors, but she and her colleagues have opposed this. So it's not surprising to me that we ended up being members of 2 different senatorial slates. I can only say that I'm glad, coming from the Democratic left, that I'm in a slate which I believe and which Akbayan believes opens up the opportunity for more reforms in the future. I don't know how she and her colleagues justify being on a slate led by Mr. C5, or how they can live with being on the same slate as the son of the dictator, the one who oversaw so many